Hi everyone, today I'm back with another set of collection videos for you guys. I just want to say that I was planning on doing my Bratz collection in terms of like smaller videos showing you each of my dolls up close and personal. That had been the plan, but unfortunately I need Colleen's help for that, and we both got sick during her April vacation. That's why my voice sounds kind of funny. So I wasn't able to do those videos, and I need like a really big chunk of time to do them, and on top of that wasn't even sunny. So I'm really sorry if you're looking forward to those. I will do them. And I've also been getting a lot of requests for like Barbie's family, like Ken and Skipper and stuff. Colleen has to be home for those videos too, because those are mostly her dolls and she wants to be part of those videos. And a lot of people have wanted to see her do collection videos. So we only really have time to film together on weekends, and with flea market season being upon us, I don't know when those videos are going to be up. Also, if you want to identify dolls using my videos, I can't promise how quickly I'm going to have these up, and once they're up, I'm not going to be updating them much. So if you are watching these just to identify dolls, please, I implore you, check out my Flickr. You don't need one. I have everything organized by albums. Everything in the albums is in chronological order. I have pictures of all of the dolls, their faces, and if I have their outfits and accessories. Like, that is what I did Flickr for like identification. And it's cool that you guys use my videos to identify dolls, and that's why I say who they all are. But if you don't want to sit and watch like a 40-minute video or 20-minute video, that's why I have my Flickr. I spent 3 years working on that, and it's still in progress. I'm still taking better pictures, and it's always a lot more up to date than my collection videos are. And I keep updating those even if I get duplicates. So if you're looking just to identify dolls, check out my Flickr. That's what it's for. Of course, if you want to see pictures of these dolls or you want to know what they're wearing, you can check out my 2000s Barbie album. My 2000s Barbies are going to be broken up into 4 parts. So this is part 1. This is going to be my Barbies from 2000 and 2001 because I just have so many. And then there will be 3 other parts. These are also like featuring the ethnic variants, not her friends, not her family. Not all of these guys are in the right outfits. A lot of these were secondhand. I have a lot of duplicates, obviously. A lot of these are the ones that I grew up with, so you're going to be meeting a lot of dolls that I've talked about in like Dolly Tales episodes and just offhandedly. So like my doll Heidi, I've talked about all the time. You're going to meet her today, which is really exciting. I love these dolls. This is one of my favorite eras of Barbie because this is what, when I got a lot of dolls, when I started buying a lot, this was the era that I was getting them in. So I'm going to introduce you to each of my dolls as usual. Stay tuned for the other 3 parts, and I'm sorry if I talk a lot about my dolls, but they really excite me, and I have stories about each of them. And if you want to know more, I write stuff about them on Flickr too, but that's always in the works. So let's get to it. So this is a quick pan around the room. I'm sorry if I go kind of hoarse. My voice is still recovering. I did not have a voice for 2 days, and then I barely had a voice for another 2 days. So that's why there was no videos. So this is 2000 Teacher Barbie. I've had her since I was a kid. A lot of these I've had since I was a kid. I got her for, I think, my 13th birthday. She's from Benny's. I got her with my Happen in Here Teresa doll named Greta, who you guys have met if you watched that video, and my Princess of the Renaissance Barbie, who you'll be seeing in a later video. I love her a lot. I always loved Teacher Barbie, and I thought she was really cool that she was like the updated version. Then we have Curious George Barbie. Was actually something really cool I found at Walmart. I got her way later. I want to say I got her in like 2003 or 2004. She was just something that was like in the back stock room that they put out, and I was really excited, and she was pretty cheap if I remember right. I love her outfit. It's so adorable. It's got this Curious George print, and I love her like Mackie head mold. She's just one of the most beautiful dolls ever, and I did play with her quite a bit. So then I have my 3 Holiday Singing Sisters Barbies. So these 2 here, Colleen and I have had since we were kids. We each got a set. I don't remember whose was whose. I could never tell them apart. And then this is one that I got later on at the flea market. She was from a bin of dolls that was mostly body donors. They all had really hacked haircuts. And there was actually a Kelly from this line that we saw in that bin, but her haircut was to the scalp, and I was really sad because Colleen and I fought over Holiday Singing Sister Kelly, even though we each had our own. So Dad, to punish us, gave them both away, and obviously, lesson learned, don't fight about dolls in front of Dad. And we still to this day haven't found Kelly, but I suppose we deserve that. Anyways, so These two are named Barbara and Barbara. If you've seen the Muppets Christmas Carol, they do that song, Marley and Marley. Well, we would sing that, but it would be Barbara and Barbara. They were our villains, even though they're super pretty. They were gifts from our fake aunt and uncle. And they were our first Barbies with a 99 body mold, so we found them really fascinating. And then we have Skiing Vacation Sisters, Sophie, that's what I named her. Colleen and I used to see this set at KB Toys all the time, and we love collecting family packs. So I mostly got it because Colleen really wanted the Stacy doll, but they're super cool. Sinc Barbie. She was someone I got secondhand. She's one of the first secondhand Barbies I got when I got back into collecting. I got her in the fall of 2011 from the Generation Girl lot. I always wanted NSYNC Barbies. Like, I never really listened to NSYNC or anything. I just really loved the way that they were dressed. And she's super cool, and I would have played with her a lot if I had her as a kid. And this is Picture Pockets Barbie. I got her on New Year's Day 2012. She was in a lot with a bunch of 70s Barbies. If you guys watched my friend collection videos, Fashion Photo PJ, everyone really loved her. She was from the same lot. She was just something that was thrown in there. I wanted her as a kid too. So then we have my 4 Kiddie Fun Barbies. So Kiddie Fun Barbie was always one of my favorite Barbies ever made. She was very iconic to me. I loved that commercial. I could sing that whole commercial like right now. But I got one of my friends a Kiddie Fun Barbie for her birthday, and I remember playing with it. And part of the novelty to Kiddie Fun Barbie was that she came with a cat named Marshmallow, and we had a cat named Marshmallow at the time. So my first one here was this African American lady. I got her and Rose Princess Barbie on the very first day that the flea market was open in 2012. So my dad was still alive at the time, but he was in the hospital and like between that and like a rehab place because he was really sick. So that was the first time we went to the flea market without him. The only thing we found that day, because it was really rainy, were these 2 African American Barbies. But this was my first Kiddie Fun Barbie, and she was in a really disgusting outfit. I actually found a nicer one for her later on. And my second one was this brunette lady. I got her separately that same summer, and I just wanted to collect all the variants because why not? And then I also got her the same summer, so this is all 2012. My cousin's now fiance asked me to clean her childhood Barbies, and when Colleen saw that she had Kiddie Fun Barbie, she got really excited, and Chrissy said that we could keep her. And African American Barbie was boxed. I got her at the end of 2012 or the beginning of 2013 at a consignment store with a bunch of other dolls. I think she was like $8 or $12 brand new, and she's awesome. Like, you can tell how much nicer she is in this doll, and she's also prettier. Then we have Rose Princess Barbie, who I talked about already, but something interesting is she was in really bad shape when I got her, and she's wearing my childhood doll's outfit. Her foot was chewed so that the plastic piece that runs inside was sticking out, so I had to patch her with acrylic filler and then paint it, so you can kind of see it looks a little funny. I had another Rose Princess Barbie a long time ago as a kid. She was the blonde version. This was her outfit. Unfortunately, I got rid of her during one of my doll purges. She was a gift. I feel really bad. So then we have my 2 bedtime baby Barbies, so they come with Chrissy. I do have a Chrissy. I'll do Chrissy video later on. This was my first. I bought her separately, and then I got her in the Happy Family bin. They're adorable. I love Barbies with green eyes. I've probably said that a million times, but I love Barbies with green eyes. Again, this was the set I really wanted as a kid. It was one of the first ones Chrissy was in. First got back into collecting. It was my mission to get these dolls. I have a Chrissy too. So she was my first one. She has cut hair. I got her with her top for like I think $2 and I was really excited. But then someone gave me this one not long after, and she does not have cut hair. But she has a really chewed hand. I don't know if you can see that, poor Barbie. And then we have my third one who came from the Laguna bin of 2013. She's adorable. We have my front window Barbie. She's one of the ones that gets a lot more attention. Everyone really seemed to like her on Flickr. I got her in 2013 or the end of 2012 from an indoor flea market. A guy had a bunch of collector Barbies and he wanted like $6 each originally, but then he ended up selling them to me and Colleen for a lot cheaper because we bought a lot of dolls from him. And she's really cool. She's got really curly hair. Princess Bride Barbie. She was one of my childhood dolls. There's a few different versions of Princess Bride Barbie. I got mine at KB Toys. I just loved the commercial and her wedding dress. This was probably one of my favorite wedding dresses growing up. She's fantastic. Then we have 2000 Princess Barbie. I have the Asian and the African American dolls. So this is the right outfit, the correct one. This is just a 97 outfit. I got them both from the 60 doll bin of 2013, so it was the first lot of dolls we got. It was opening day 2013. It was really awesome. We got 60 dolls. I always wanted an Asian princess doll. So then we have Flying Butterfly Barbie, who's from the same bin, ironically. She's really cool. She's got green eyes, and she's wearing this really old-fashioned pack because she has this really cool, like, gear thing where her wings are supposed to be. Then we have Jewel Girl Barbie. Jewel Girl was one of my favorite lines, and I was super stoked to find Barbie. Actually, I found her not long after that bin. She was in a little paper bag with a bunch of 90s Barbies. She was like, I think the only 2000s one. She's got this chunk of hair someone cut. I don't know if you can see. So over here, she's got some shorter bits, but she's awesome, and I already had her whole outfit, so that was cool. Wash and Wear Barbie. I got her from the Rapunzel lot of 2014. There was just a few dolls in that lot, but I thought she looked familiar, and when I found out she was Wash and Wear Barbie, I was super excited because I always wanted Wash and Wear Barbie, and I almost bought her at an antique store boxed a few years before. So she's really cute. I love her. And then we have my two Hip to Be Square Barbies. So my first one was this redhead, and then I got her the next year. But they're both from the same seller, and they're both from lots. So she was from the Jewel Secrets Barbie lot, so she was with like some random older dolls, and then she was from the Ken Suitcase lot, which I've mentioned in a bunch of these videos. Really cute how that worked out. This is Barbie and India. These dolls don't have box dates to my knowledge, but we think she's the 2000 version. So they're really cool. There's a lot of different Barbie and India dolls from like over the years, and I used to see these advertised in my collector's books, and they fascinated me. And I found her in the Ken Suitcase lot. Such a cool doll to own. I love dolls that are like Middle Eastern. I just think they're so beautiful. And then this is Sister's Celebration Barbie. I got her from the Teresa lot of last year. And I didn't get her Chrissy, sadly, but she's really cool. I didn't think I'd ever find this doll because I'd never known she existed until I got collector books. And then we have Jam and Glam Barbie. I got her in the Generation Girl lot in 2011. I've shown you guys Christy and Teresa in other collection videos. She's really cool. I always wanted this doll growing up, but I just somehow never got her. Then we have my two Scooby-Doo Barbies Daphne dolls. So this is the 2001 version. This is my first one. I got her in the Bratz shoe bin of 2012, so it was a lot with like mostly nudie brats and shoes for brats, and she was one of the Barbies in that lot, and she actually has cut hair. It doesn't look bad, but I thought it was really bad when I got her, and I was gonna body donor her, and when I went to take her head off, I realized how pretty she was, and then I looked at the haircut again, and I was like, no, I will save you, Barbie. And then I got her for free. She was part of the Free Friday Finds lot of 2015. And the funny thing is, when I got her, she had a fat head. So then we have my two McDonald's Fun Time Barbies. This was my first one. I also got her from the Generation Girl lot with Kelly. And I always wanted this set growing up, but I just never got it. I don't know. I just love like food-themed dolls and like McDonald's-themed dolls. So then I got my African American one last fall in 2016. You guys have seen her if you watch my haul videos. She was in one of them. She was really dirty, even though she was boxed. The special story about the African American one is that KB Toys, that was where I got a lot of my Barbies when I was a kid. They had an overstock of the African American ones for some reason, and they were always there, and when I look at this doll, I think of those weekends that I would go to KB Toys with my dad, and I just really wanted her for that reason, and Colleen didn't know how special this doll was to me until she was reading what I wrote about on Flickr, and she suddenly realized why I like had to get this doll. So I'm really glad to finally have her, and I think she's even prettier than the blonde. But you're pretty too, Barbie. So then we have Stroll and Play Barbie. I have three. So this was my childhood doll. Her name is Sacagawea. Don't ask. I like to name my dolls weird, exotic things. She was something my grandmother bought me. I played with her outfit all the time on my favorite Jasmine doll, and I played with her Chrissies all the time. That was my favorite set of Chrissies. Natasha, the little Hispanic baby, was my favorite Chrissy of all time, still is. And then I have the other two. So this was my second one in the wrong outfit. Someone swapped her earrings, which is really cool. She's from the Happy Family lot. And then this one came from the 60 doll bin. I wouldn't be able to tell her and Sacagawea apart if it were not for this little like short cut in her hair. And then this is Fun Treats Barbie. So she's sold with like a Jello set. It's weird. I have three Kelly dolls, but this was one of my sister's favorite dolls. I actually bought her at the flea market sometime when I was a teenager. She was one of the ones I used to display in my room. And my dad got her for me from the same lady I got my Little Debbie's Barbie from. And Colleen really took a shine to this doll, and she named her Desiree, and she played with her all the time. We have Ring in the New Year Barbie. These are two of them. This was my childhood doll. I got her in some random lot at the flea market, and she couldn't have been that old when I got her. But I was always like super curious as to who she was, because look how beautiful she is. Like, look at that Mackie head mold. She's gorgeous. And because of that, when we saw her at the flea market in 2011, or 2012, I don't remember when, we had to get her. She was from the same guy that sold me my dollhouse that my Bratz dolls live in, that you guys always see in videos. So then we have Pretty Princess Barbie. So this right here is Crystal. She is one of my favorite Barbies of all time. She has been mentioned before, actually, in the Dolly Tales Kid Core Katie episode. This was the doll I got when Colleen got her favorite Katie, and her name is Crystal. She's fabulous. I played with her all the time. The only reason why I didn't play with her even more was because she has these molded shoes that were kind of a pain to work around, because I liked my dolls to wear sneakers all the time. And then this is her twin, Catherine. She was a gift that Colleen got for Christmas when I got my blonde rose Princess Barbie from this lady who my mom used to babysit her son. After my mom passed away, she got us Christmas gifts, which was really sweet, and she took us school shopping and stuff. So Catherine's really special, and you'll notice her face looks funny. Sad story, when I went to prune my collection at some point, she was one of the dolls I was going to get rid of, and I had her out in our old horse hay trailer, and a mouse chewed her. So Magic Jewel Barbie. I got her secondhand as a kid, and again, she couldn't have been that old, and she's wicked discolored. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but she's like got a like orange yellow body, probably from nicotine stains. But I wanted her when I was a kid, and when I saw her secondhand, I don't think I knew who she was, but I really loved her face and her like purpley lipstick, so I had to get her. And then we have Salon Surprise Barbie Cassandra. I have like actually four of my favorites like right in a row. Cassandra, Heidi, Marissa, and Hilary. She was one of my childhood dolls. I got her and my Spot Scene Teresa doll, named Sabrina. You guys have met her if you watched that video, together at KB Toys. I always wanted this doll. She had cool pink hair. And the story behind Cassandra, actually, is that I remember when my mom was alive, this was a brand new line, and I really wanted Barbie, and I remember asking my mom if I could get her at KB Toys, and my mom's exact words were, quote, "You have a lot of Barbies that look like that already," so she wouldn't buy me Cassandra. Now, in my defense, I did not have a lot of dolls on the 99 body mold at the time, and I did not have any dolls with pink in their hair, and I didn't have many that had this facial screening, so mom was wrong, and I'm not gonna lie, after my mom passed away and my dad took me to KB Toys, I kind of still wanted this doll, and even though mom said I couldn't have her, I got her. So, sorry mom if you're watching this up there in heaven, but I loved her. I played with her all the time, and her hair still will change back to blonde too, which is really cool. So, she kind of reminds me of my mom, even though mom never met this doll in person. And then we have Heidi, Travel and Style Barbie. My favorite Barbie, probably my favorite 2000s Barbie. It's hard, but she's one of them. So this is Heidi number 2. Heidi number 1 I got at KB Toys. I paid with her in change, and I loved her to death, but I hadn't had her long when I was inspired to cut her hair. Big no-no, don't do that. Cut it really short. It looked horrible. I didn't know how to boil wash at the time, so I couldn't even get it to lay flat. I cried and sobbed, and Dad felt bad for me, so we went looking for her everywhere, and for some reason, these dolls were nowhere to be found anymore. So we had to order her from eBay. This one is actually from the UK. She had like United Kingdom packaging, and she was shipped internationally. And she has like different color variants of her shoes and stuff. If you check out my Flickr, I have pictures of the color variants of the stuff. And I loved her even more. And the story is that the day she came in the mail, I was really excited, and I took her out with me afterwards with Dad. And he threw her out the window at the bank at the ATM to tease me, because he used to like making Barbie drive, and then he chucked her out the window, and I was really upset because she was my brand new doll, and I just played with her all the time. So if you hear me mention Heidi, this is Heidi. And this is Marissa. I also got her at KB Toys. I liked Sabrina so much, who Spot Scene Teresa, that I got her, and she's just beautiful, and I love her icy lips. And she was sisters with Sabrina in my doll games. And then this is Marisha, her twin. I got her from the Ken Suitcase lot. She's really cool, and they're actually different facial variants. This is Hilary, Dress and Go Barbie. I always wanted her because I'm a sucker for dolls that come with lots of stuff. I got her at KB Toys, and she has really long hair. Beautiful. She was one of the ones I played with a lot. I just love her because Dad bought her for me, and she just reminds me of that time in my life, and I'm really glad I always held on to her. Speaking of that time in my life, Mallory over here, this is college style / school style Barbie, the African American version. So I think college style was like the Canadian version, I'm not sure, and I just love African American dolls, and I had to get her, and she's gorgeous. 2001 Malibu Barbie, so she's a reproduction. So when I got my 1970 beach bus at the flea market, which is featured in my playset video, I wanted a Malibu Barbie because I thought she was so awesome on the packaging. but I couldn't find a real one at the time, so I got her at KB Toys. Dad bought me this doll. I don't know why I never named her, because all of my 6 of my actual Malibu Barbies have A names. So I'm going to name you right now. Your name is going to be Aspen, because they all have A names. Then we have Rapunzel Barbie from 2001. I rescued her from the flea market because I felt bad for her as a kid. Starlight Fairy Barbie. I got her from the Generation Girl lot. I remember the commercial for this doll, and I remember really wanting her because she had blue in her hair. So I'm really glad to have her. And then we have Dream Glow Barbie from 2001, so she's soft-bodied. I got her from the Bratz shoe bin as well, and I used to not like these cloth body dolls because they creeped me out, but I don't know, because I've gotten so many as an adult, I think they're really cute, and she's got glow-in-the-dark hair, and look at that face. So then we have Fashion Photo Barbie from 2001, is that I had one of these growing up. I remember buying her at Toys R Us because I loved her face, but sadly, that doll, Natalie, I cut her hair really short. And once again, I regretted it, and I had to use her as a body donor because it was a really bad haircut. So I found her at the Salvation Army the first year I got back into collecting. I think it was 2012. I got her with my Mystery Squad Barbie and my second Jam and Glam Teresa you met in the video. So her name is also Natalie now. So then we have my Princess of the Nile, Dolls of the World Barbie, Cleopatra, Cleo. This is one of my favorite Barbies of all time. And also, fun fact, if you ever want to know what my most expensive Barbie was, who I paid the most for, it was this doll. I love ancient Egypt. I've always loved it since I was like 9. I have all kinds of like books on it. I'm just fascinated by it. And when I found out they made a Barbie, I really wanted her, but I couldn't find her at stores. So Dad found me this doll on eBay. And I don't know, she can be really expensive on eBay, even back then. And all of them were like $70 or more. And for a good report card, when Colleen got son Joel Skipper, Dad let me get this doll. And she was, I don't remember exactly how much we paid, but she had to have been like between $80 and $90 with shipping. It was insane. Like, I would never pay that much for a Barbie now, but I really wanted her, and believe me, she got played with that much. Like, you can see her outfits in raggy shape. And I didn't even keep her box. Like, Dad didn't even care. Like, Dad was that kind of parent where he wasn't all, you can't play with that because it costs so much money. He was like, I bought you the doll, I want you to enjoy the doll. Because I had awesome parents like that. So yes, I love this doll very much, and she's gorgeous. She's the prettiest Egyptian doll ever. And then we have Ireland Barbie from her line, so Princess of Ireland. I got her at the flea market with Front Window Barbie. She's really yellow. A lot of the dolls I got from that guy are very yellow, but she's super beautiful, and look at that Mackie head mold. I love her. And then we have Class of 2002 Barbie, so she's like the graduation one. Her name is Ren. We are old friends. She is also a childhood doll. I got her from CVS. I was an impulsive shopper as a kid. I just liked buying things to buy them. So I got her. My mom was actually alive when I had this doll. That's how long I've had her. She's probably, besides my holiday singing sisters Barbies, the one I've had the longest in this video. And this is Shoes Galore Barbie. And this is 2001 Happy Birthday Barbie. And this is Let's Camp Barbie. I'm mentioning them all together because they all came from the 60 doll bin. And I already had her outfit, which was really cool. And then there's also a 2002 version of this Barbie. The reason how you can tell them apart is they have the same like faces and outfits, but the 2002 one has the 99 body mold. These ones have, I think, the 91 body molds. I have the blonde one. You'll see her in my next video. I already had this outfit too. She had cut hair, but I just was determined to save her, so I fixed it up, and I'm really glad I did because she's one of the prettiest African-American dolls ever. And then we have Nutcracker Barbie. I got her from the Salvation Army, actually, with Star Skater Barbie. Before, I used to have really good luck there because obviously if you've watched my videos, I've been on a monster high streak. I only found some doll stuff once in a while, and I found this big comforter case for like $20 that was stuffed with really nice looking Barbies, and these two were in there. I bought it for the Disney dolls, but I love them too. And she's missing one of her feet, and I don't want to like put her on another body because I don't have anything that's close enough to this, and I think she'll just kind of look weird. But she's also quite discolored. Poor baby. And I always liked Star Skater as a kid. Colleen and I loved skating dolls because we watched figure skating. Then we have Lunch Date Barbie. I got her from it's like a body donor lot. They all had like cut hair. And then this is Season Sparkle Barbie. I got her at the flea market separately because she was wearing a flip and dive swimsuit I really wanted for my flip and dive doll. So she's gorgeous. And then we have, last but not least, Palm Beach Barbie. I got her in 2014, I think. I found her at the flea market right on our way out. This guy had her, and she was just like laying around with some movies or something. And she even had her little wrap, and she's gorgeous. I love her green eyes. Barbies from this era are like so pretty. So those are all of my dollies. So thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed meeting my Barbies. So like I said, this was part 1 of 4 of all my 2000s and 2010s Barbies. But if you want to see pictures of these dolls for identification, or if you just want to know what they look like better, check out my Flickr. And until next time, love your dolls, love yourself, and love your life.